guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, welcome. If you have subscribed, if you've watched any of my videos before, thank you for coming back. I love the community that we are building together. I hope that we continue to grow, we continue to cheer each other on, and I'm just having a blast. If you guys are enjoying my content, please consider hitting subscribe, hitting the like button, commenting down below some of your fitness goals or what brought you here, or even what kind of content you would like to see in the future. Okay, so for this video, we are just kind of going over my Spartan journey or my road to racing Spartan races. And then we are going to talk about 2025 fitness goals. I'm going to try not to say every other word. One, just so I don't spend a whole lot of time editing it out. And two, just so you guys are not hearing it all the time. I notice that it's a tic that I have when I am anxious. I'm still getting used to talking in front of the camera. So thank you guys for being patient with me as I learn editing skills, filming skills, all the skills. So for this video, we'll just start with my Spartan journey. So if you guys are new here, then you probably don't know. I have raced in 3 different Spartan races. I raced in Atlanta, in New York, and in Tennessee. So I'll insert a picture of me racing in one, and then I'll insert a picture of my family. We did them together. My son ran in like the kid version, and then me and my husband, we ran together. I do just want to start off by saying that without my husband, I'm not sure I would have been able to complete some of the obstacles, but we'll get there. So in 2021, in May 2021, I had a hysterectomy in which they took my uterus, one of my ovaries, my fallopian tubes, and my cervix. So I would say it was a full hysterectomy, but I don't know if that falls under the umbrella of keeping one of my ovaries. So in 2021, I had a hysterectomy due to endometriosis, adenomyosis. The actual cause of the hysterectomy was adenomyosis. I don't think that you get a hysterectomy with endometriosis, but I could be wrong. At the time of the hysterectomy, I had been bleeding for a year straight. I had already been suffering with PCOS, so the ovary that they took was just completely obliterated. I also had been struggling with endometriosis for years, so I've always had painful periods. Sometimes I would have multiple periods a month, but at this specific time, I had been bleeding for over a year. And I mean, like, I'm not being dramatic. I bled every single day for a year. At the time of my hysterectomy, I was 230 pounds, and prior to my adenomyosis and endometriosis and PCOS all collectively just knocking the shit out of me. I had been pretty healthy my whole life. I ran track in high school and in junior high. I've always been somebody that enjoyed athletics. You know, I kind of floated around that 140, 150 weight for most of my adolescence, adult life. And by the time that I went in for the consultation of trying to figure out why I was bleeding so much, what we could do to stop it, I was pretty much just bedridden. I was bleeding so much that I was heavily anemic, had no energy, literally could sleep all night, sleep all day, and I would still be exhausted. My quality of life was horrible. I couldn't even think about working out. The pain, the cramps, the bleeding, it was so bad. And I remember feeling like if it wasn't for my children, I would not even be here. My quality of life was horrible. So, you know, I was sitting at the heaviest weight that I had ever been And I wasn't able to work out. I wasn't able to do anything. It was like, even if I wasn't eating like crap, the weight was just piling on, and it was probably due to my sedentary lifestyle, but also just the fact that adenomyosis causes your uterus to swell. Like the lining inside just gets thicker and thicker and thicker, and you've got like lesions all over your uterus. So I was in a rock and a hard place. I knew that I needed to lose weight to be able to feel better, but I also couldn't lose weight because I was literally dying. And when I went in for my consultation, they diagnosed the adenomyosis via ultrasound. And the only way to confirm whether or not you have it is by a hysterectomy. And then it's in the stage where they send it to like the labs that they're able to tell you whether or not you have it. So I went through with the hysterectomy at 29 because while I wanted more children, I also wanted to be present for the children that I already had. At the time, my son was 6, and there were so many times that he wanted to play, and I just not only didn't have the energy, but I physically felt like I could not. I was in such severe pain. So I had the hysterectomy, and after the hysterectomy, as I was like recovering, I remember writing down all of the symptoms that I had pre-hysterectomy so that when they were gone, I would be able to reflect back on how much my quality of life has changed. But I also remember thinking that this is something that has made me bedridden for so long, that I know what it feels like to not have the ability to move my body the way that I want to not have the ability to live the life that I want to. And I never wanted to take that for granted again. So after I was cleared, I started working out for the first time in years. And while it was hard and it kicked my butt, there were a couple times I threw up from how inactive I had been, and then going from that to trying to work out, it was just so hard. And I remember feeling discouraged at the beginning, and I was laying in bed with my husband one night, and I was like, hey, you know, I think that we should do a Spartan race. I think that should be our fitness goal. I think it should be something that drives us to get up and go to the gym. So like, let's just do it. And he was like, yeah, let's just do it. And I was like on the website, like looking, and I added it to the cart. I added our tickets to the cart, and I pushed purchase, and I was like, hey, we're going to run the Spartan race in Atlanta. And he was like, what? I'm sorry. He was like, I thought this was just like a future thing. I didn't realize like we were committing to it like right now. And I was like, yeah, no, we're doing it. So we had 7 months to prepare, which is like a really long time. We didn't do like the beast. We didn't do the super. We did the sprint, which is just a 5K, but it also has 20 obstacles on it. So if you guys don't know what Spartan races are, I'll leave a link in the comments. But it's something that me and my husband have wanted to do since we were 20. Like when he was in the military, we used to look and we used to be like, oh, this would be so cool. We were like broke young adults, and we were having a baby, and it was just not something that we could feasibly do at that time. So it was like a full circle moment to be sitting here at 29 and being like, we're gonna do this. So 7 months we had to prepare. I was strength training 5 days a week. I was doing cardio 5 days a week. And I ended up losing before the Spartan race. I went from 230 to 195. So I ran that race at 195. And like, I was so strong. Like, it felt so good. It was one of the hardest things that I've ever done. But it was also such a full circle moment of like birthing this new reality for myself and this new version of me. When I had my hysterectomy, I really thought that like my life was just over. It felt so weird being a 29-year-old who didn't have a uterus. All of my friends were starting their families, and like my ability to have any more children was coming to an end. And I know that it is not our purpose as women to just have children, but there is something about having that taken away from you. And I've struggled with fertility issues. We lost several pregnancies. So I've dealt with the struggle to become pregnant and the struggle to create our family, but this was like, there was no more hope that our family would grow, it was gone, and the door was like slammed shut. So I struggled with that post hysterectomy, and I struggled with not feeling like I was in my own body, or not feeling like myself. So running this incredibly hard race was something that really showed me who I am now. It showed me my strength. It showed me my ability to overcome. It showed me my mental fortitude, and it changed my life forever. When I fall on hard times now, or I think that something's not possible or that I can't do something, I rely and I fall back on that version of me who ran this race, and the entire time I'm thinking, what did I get myself into? I bit off more than I can chew. There's people out here with like 8-pack abs and like professional athletes running this race, and I am just a normal person who had this grand idea to do something really hard. And like, for me personally, when I sign up or I say that I'm going to do something, I do it. Like, come hell or high water is my mindset. So, you know, during the race, I can remember being a quarter mile in and thinking, like, how am I going to finish this? Like, I'm not walking away without a medal. Like, I want the medal. I want the shirt. I want to be able to say that I did this. And that's what I did. I used that as my why through the entire race. And when it was done and I completed that challenge, I felt like a warrior. I felt like I had conquered the big mountain that I had been facing most of my life. And it was like, I now know that there's nothing that stands in the way of me and a goal. And it felt full circle to tell like a past version of myself that was laying in bed, distraught, couldn't move, bleeding all the time, that like, we're out here, we're living fully our lives, we're doing exactly what we want to, nothing is stopping us. It felt full circle to be able to look back on the version of me that was laying in bed recovering from a hysterectomy at 29 and telling her that we kept that promise to ourselves. We fulfilled that promise. Like, we did it. Me, like, nobody else handed that to me. Nobody else ran that race. Nobody else put in those hours. I did that. And so, you know, even now when I'm sitting here and I kind of lost my why for a little while after my brother died in 2023, and then I had my final ovary removed and went into menopause 3 months later, I just stopped moving my body. I went into depression. I stopped showing up for myself. And, you know, I had that wake up call in January when I looked at myself and I stepped on the scale and I was like, no, we're not going back here. We're not going back to that point where you're bedridden, where you're too out of shape to chase your kid around or play or to complete the things that you want to do in your day-to-day. Because being overweight and being out of shape doesn't just affect how you look or, you know, I was going to say how you feel, but yeah, like it affects how you feel, but it goes so much deeper than just how you feel, right? I don't show up for myself in my creative content because I don't feel good in how I look. I don't like showing up to certain public events because I feel uncomfortable in my skin. I don't wear the things that I want to wear because I just don't feel good. You know, and then on the physical side, working out is hard. Just doing a Pilates class where these movements are meant for somebody of smaller body. Yoga even is meant for people with smaller bodies, and it is hard to complete these things I enjoy doing because I am in a bigger body. So it's almost like, even though I don't feel the exhaustion to the level that I did prior to my hysterectomy, and, you know, just because I'm not bleeding and bedridden, it feels like so much is hindered by where I'm at again. And so I had a very, you know, look in the mirror, face the music type moment in January where I was like, we can't go back here. And on the path that we're going down, we're damn near there. And we worked so hard previously to get that weight off, to get our movement back, to get our confidence back, that I don't want to see it completely just dissolve right in front of me. So, you know, that is kind of where I'm at again, is just looking back and remembering how hard I fought to get to where I was, and not shaming myself for being back here, but holding myself accountable and saying there was once a point in my life where moving was hard, where it was not an option, where I didn't have the physical capabilities that I do now, and I don't want to take it for granted. So going into 2025, not only is weight loss a goal of mine, I do want to lose the weight. I do want to get down to my goal weight. I do want to develop strength and stamina and endurance, but I also want to get my motivation back. I want to get my determination back. I want to keep smashing fitness goals. I want to do more races, right? So something that I've always said I wanted to do was a marathon. And then ultra running has always fascinated me because it's the same mental barriers that you have to overcome as well as physical barriers that has always interested me. I tell my husband all the time when we do a hard weightlifting session or a hard cardio session that it's not the... Like, I enjoy working out, but what I enjoy more is coming face to face with the parts of me that want to give up, the parts of me that want to take it easy, the parts of me that want to play it safe, and smashing through those glass ceilings. I love walking away from a workout and feeling like the whole time I was fighting mental demons and I overcame. That makes me feel so good, and that was part of the reason why I loved the Spartan race. And I've always been that way. And so ultra running is something where it's like you face the darkest parts of yourself, the weakest parts of yourself, the parts of yourself that keep you playing small, and you smash through those barriers. So ultra running is a long-term goal of mine, but marathon running is something that I started the year saying I want to do. Now, I have a 14-year-old daughter who has tossed around the ideas of marathon running. And when she found out how far the distance was, she was like, how about we do like a half marathon? So I'm thinking, start small, half marathon. There is a half marathon where I live in November. And I'm thinking, let's spend the first half of the year getting back into the swing of things, dropping some pounds. And then come June, July timeframe, start training for the half marathon that would be in November. That is a goal of mine for 2025. I want to run that half marathon in November. And then in 2026, it will be my marathon year. And hopefully all of that compounded work and interest leads me to ultra marathoning. Something else I would really like to do is possibly run another Spartan race. But like I said in the beginning, there were a couple obstacles that I don't know if I could have done without my husband, like him propping me up so that I could pull myself up over obstacles. I'm not sure. I know right now, if he didn't decide he was going to do it with me, I'm not sure I would run one yet. I definitely need to develop more upper body and core strength. But I would love to do another Spartan race. I enjoyed running it. I enjoyed being a part of that community. I love the run community. It's so uplifting. If you've ever been in a race, you know that everybody is constantly cheering you on. Other runners are checking in on you. They're uplifting you. They're helping you. It's just, it feels so great to be a part of a community when I feel community is something that lacks in like modern society. So those are my goals. I want to hopefully by the end of 2025, I would love to see 60 pounds down out of my 78-pound weight loss journey. I would love to complete this marathon in November with my daughter, half marathon with my daughter, and then set myself up for success going into 2026 to run that full marathon because it's always been a goal of mine. So let me know if you guys have any fitness goals in the comments, what they are. Let me cheer you on. Let me uplift you. Let me speak words of positivity and affirmations over you. I would love to know what you're doing. Maybe there's something in the comments that you see that you haven't thought of and it inspires you to take action on it. I would love to do the same. So let me know, guys, in the comments if you like this video. hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.